Alright guys, welcome to Whiskey Helps. I'm Larry. As you can tell, this is not John.
Nope.
John's a little busy right now, so we wanted to get an episode out this week. So Lincoln here to fill in. And we're going to be drinking Tincup American whiskey today. I'm excited. I've never had it. So this should be good. I've heard tremendous things about Tincup. I'm super excited to find out if that's a shot glass or if that's just the top.
Pretty sure it's a shot glass.
But as usual, let's drink.
Where's the intern?
I know, we need to get an intern back. God, it sucks not being able to yell at him.
He's sick.
Rocky Mountain water. You didn't realize I said that. Cut with Rocky Mountain water. Now, as you can tell, it's actually cold this time. Not doing that horrible fucking warm ass shit as usual. Is this an actual...
Yes,
it is! Oh, that's fantastic. It's really cool. I feel like that's a little bit bigger than it. Oh, I hate these. It's okay. When all else fails,
I got a new knife.
I do have a new knife. Well, new-ish. John gave it to me a few years ago for one of the holidays. I think it was Christmas. But we did the Secret Santa.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the machete's in the back of my car that I got in the back of the truck.
I hate this. There we go.
It wasn't that bad.
I just hate trying to find the
hole?
Yeah.
No good finding the hole?
No.
Oh.
I like the method of spit on it when you find it. Oh.
That was satisfying.
I mean, it's got that normal smell. I wasn't expecting anything phenomenal. I am a pretty big fan of their tops, though. Their caps and stuff are pretty cool. Doing both the little... I guess it's a shot.
You know what it smells like?
But
It smells like a cheaper Gentleman's Jack. That's what it smells like to me, anyway.
yeah, no.
Like, it's not as harsh as a normal Jack. It's not as dark.
I know. I do love that that's a very, like, smooth smell. It's not, like, as harsh as that you're used to on a...
It's like a Crown or a Gentleman's Jack is almost what it smells like to me.
Denver, Colorado.
Is it a blended whiskey? It's gotta be a blended whiskey.
The Tincup whiskey is a blend of two great American whiskeys, each aged in No. 3 charred oak barrels, high rye bourbon, distilled and aged in Indiana, is blended with a small amount of Colorado single malt whiskey. These whiskeys are cut with Rocky Mountain water. Tincup is named for the Colorado mining pioneers and the tin cups from which they drank their whiskey. Enjoy. That is incredibly cold. Fuck, that sucks. Oh. But let's get to the fun part. I didn't even realize. Elevation 5,251.
You gonna take it out of the glass or you gonna take a shot?
Oh, it's fair. It does have the shot glass.
You gotta have it out of a tin cup. It might change the flavor. You ever had water out of a tin cup?
I have not. No.
It tastes really weird.
I get a little bit of a Jameson vibe with that.
Is it kind of lighter?
Yeah.
Light and smooth? Or?
Yeah, like a... Oh yeah, no, that's fantastic cold. Like, that is... Alright, it was fantastic for me. I'm assuming it went down the wrong hole. Yeah. Yeah, that's never good with whiskey. It hurts. That shit fucking hurts. But it's really not bad.
Oh, it's so good. It brought a tear to my eye.
I don't know if the tin cup like changed it or not. Like doing it out of the tin cup.
I don't know either. It is very Jameson-y. It's kind of light.
I'm not upset.
It doesn't have as much of a vanilla taste.
No, sadly, but I'm not upset.
I really like the shape of the bottle too.
It was one of the things that drew me to it was the shape of the bottle.
What's a six-sided?
What is six-sided?
Sexagon.
I guess. I don't know. How many does a sub sign have?
5. It's an octagon.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessary.
I don't know. It's normal, and I feel like I shouldn't have put these in the freezer, but it's like these are just whiskey rocks. I don't know if you've ever had actual whiskey rocks.
No, I never had actual whiskey rocks. I've used spears.
These are
cubes.
probably to me the best thing to put in whiskey. Like you get no water down, they stay cold for fucking hours.
I've also used the gel, but I've never used them solid. Oh yeah, I've used these.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever actually used those in anything. Other than, I put them in here to like chill the glasses while we set up for filming, but other than that, no, nothing. I'm gonna add a little bit more, so I'm gonna have to add more in a minute. Put that top back out.
My throat is still sore from that. That hurt.
Oh.
But it is very smooth.
So far, I'm not like upset with this. I feel like this was definitely a good choice.
How
to
much
pick
was
up.
it? Do you remember?
I think out of the bottles that I picked up from that store, I think this was the most expensive. And I think this one was like $19.99 or it was $20.99.
Okay, so
One
it's
of
around
the
the
two.
same price as a fifth of Jameson.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the place that I go to pick up all this is like a lot cheaper. They're like a giant superstore for. They have like everything from wine to beer, and then like aisles dedicated to like this is the aisle for whiskey, this is an aisle for rum, and it's fantastic.
Sounds like every other liquor store.
No, I mean
Like a good sized liquor store, not a corner store.
it's like a Walmart for alcoholics. It's fantastic. I absolutely love that place. Oh, it's a lot more harsh. Oh. It's not bad though. Again though, it does remind me a lot of Jameson.
It's as smooth as Jameson.
But I'm gonna mix it with Monster.
You're gonna miss it with Monster?
I'm gonna mix it with yeah.
You're slurred, you've had one shot.
I was about to say you have your own, so you can do whatever the fuck you want. Oh, I've been looking forward to doing the.
Now my experience mixing with Monster makes everything taste like cotton candy for some reason.
If this tastes like cotton candy after you say that, I'm going to forever buy Tincup
Okay,
and
let
Monster.
me rephrase that. The two whiskeys I've mixed with Monster was Jack Daniels and it was some off-brand when I was working in South Carolina. Like South Carolina whiskey or something weird.
I don't know. I know
It was a
I
bottom
have,
shelf whiskey,
I have definitely mixed Jameson with Monster before.
but the Jack Daniels and Monster made me think of cotton candy.
Well, we'll definitely find out. It's not bad. I don't know if I would order that. Still got a little, I don't know, it's got a little weird taste. Like the whiskey didn't mix very well.
No,
It's got that like charred barrel taste, and then it's like a Monster. It's like charred barrel Monster.
it's a smoky Monster.
Smoky Monster. There we go. That'd be awesome. New brand.
It's not bad.
No, I could
I feel like Red Bull would have been better,
definitely.
but that's because Red Bull's a little harsher taste and it hides a lot of the whiskey.
Yeah.
Take these fucking things off.
This time's gonna be a little different. Lincoln's gonna look up the information on Tincup, other than the stuff that are clearly on the bottle.
So you're making the guy with the list fucking read.
Yeah,
You are an asshole, sir.
most of the time. The only thing I know is that Jess Graver is the founder. This says it on the bottle.
All right, let's go to Tincup's website.
I mean, the bottle is super cool. Definitely gonna clean this one out.
Now they have another brand called Tincup 10. What is it?
Oh yeah. So
It's newly released according to their website. Tincup 10 is a newly released expression that marries the bold, pure, untamed flavor of Tincup with a full decade of oak barrel aging.
yeah, when I went to the store when
It is
I got this
so
one,
much darker.
they had that one next to it. And the reason I didn't get the age 10-year one was because it was $45 for a bottle. This
Okay.
one was less than half or over half the price.
Original.
So
This is how we bottle the mountain. Tincup is a blend of two great American whiskeys, each aged in number 3 charred oak barrels, high rye bourbon distilled and aged in Indiana, and is blended with a small amount of Colorado single malt whiskey. These whiskeys are cut with a Rocky Mountain water. Tincup is named for Colorado mining pioneers and the tin cups from which they drank their whiskey. You already read that.
yeah, that was on the bottle.
Alright, it's got tasting notes. caramel color. I can see that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
The aroma is citrus, black pepper, and ginger snaps, supposedly.
So that makes sense because
Yeah,
it's a lot sweeter, like the Jameson is. That's why we're getting the
It's a
reminiscence
citrus.
of that.
And then flavor is rice spice, cinnamon, and caramel. Instead of vanilla. That's why I could taste it. Like
Ooh,
Jameson
I
has
actually, after we finish this episode, we'll shoot a little bit of a little different one up in the house. Because I actually have whiskey caramel up in the house. So if this is supposedly like flavored with caramel, it probably tastes really good with that.
The most valuable
Try.
ingredient of all is time. Tincup whiskey is aged for a minimum of 4 years in an American white oak barrels with a number 3 char. And it's cut to proof with Rocky Mountain spring water. The taste of whiskey largely depends on the quality of water used to cut it down to proof. This is why they cut their whiskey to proof with Rocky Mountain spring water and hand bottle it in Colorado. The result is a smooth yet bold whiskey fit for enjoying with friends in the great outdoors.
And like every episode of Whiskey Hubs, we're out in a barn, and there is no door in front of us.
No.
Like, it is wide open. It is, how hot today?
Like 90.
It's only 86 right now, but it feels way hotter than that.
Oh, phone call.
Not answering.
Work.
No, I don't know. This is Nashville.
Oh.
One thing that we definitely need to figure out is, like, we need a tour. We need to go to a tour of one of these facilities.
Well,
Jack Daniels is the closest. So.
We're reasonably, well, no, Jack Daniels and Evan Williams of Kentucky are about the same distance.
Well,
But Jack Daniels is dry county, so they only give you lemonade, because I was down there one time. It's just neat to see the process, but Evan Williams, I think, isn't in a dry county. I think it's Evan Williams. That's Kentucky.
Jim Beam is up there. I know
Where's the Jim Beam?
all their different companies are up there too. There's
But either
what's
way-
called the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky, and it's like through a whole bunch of different cities, and it's all the different distilleries for all the whiskeys that are produced out in Kentucky. But this
actually
is the
regret
furthest
mixing
away
that.
from Tennessee. Huh?
I'm slowly starting to regret mixing that. It makes it too sweet.
It is starting to get a lot more monstery.
Yeah.
That makes sense. A lot more sugary. I mean, I'm not upset with this. I'm pretty happy.
No,
Like-
I really enjoy Tincup. Not as good as Jameson, in my opinion, but
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to beat Jameson. This is only 42%. So, and which makes it 84 proof. And we do not have the Jameson up here, so I don't know. I can't remember what Jameson is. But I do know that this is, as far as something from a Yankee state,
I wouldn't consider it a Yankee state completely.
Indiana's a,
But a lot of it's done in Colorado. That's
Yeah.
not a Yankee state. It's Midwest.
yeah, but
Or
I don't know.
Southwest?
As far as a stoner state is concerned, they made a damn good whiskey. There's not much of this that I don't like. I mean, I love the bottle. I love that you get like this little souvenir shot glass type thing. I don't even know if it's supposed to be a shot glass, but
Jameson is 80 proof, so it's slightly higher.
go to yeah. Okay.
It's 2% higher because Jameson is 40%.
But this is by far my favorite bottle that I've.
We need to keep
Ever
the
had.
tin
Like-
cup out here for whenever y'all do episodes and go back and do all your whiskeys out of the tin cup and see if it changes any of the taste.
That
'Cause
would
I feel like it would.
I feel like it should.
You said you never had water out of a tin cup.
I've never had water.
Yeah, I grew up poor, so we actually had to do that sometimes.
Well, I didn't grow up in Tennessee, so
Fair enough.
a lot of growing up poor in different cities or different states is tremendously different. We couldn't afford a tin cup.
Ford and finding a creek is two different things.
We didn't have creeks. We had sewage running down the backyard.
Have you seen the creeks in Tennessee?
As every Tennessee person has ever told me, the rocks in the creek help to filter the water.
No, it's just because
One of my favorite things. Sarah just said that to me today, too. We were down in that creek. She's like, she was drinking the water, and I was like, that's nasty. We're down creek from some questionable people.
Yeah,
She was like, it's okay. The rocks filter the water. I'm like, no, the fuck they don't.
no, sand does. Sand filters water. Sand is small rocks, so she's not wrong.
I mean, maybe the big rocks do. Maybe. I'm not a scientist. I'm an alcoholic.
All I know is I grew up drinking out of creek water, and I'm decently okay. But no, do not recommend mixing with Monster. With Coke, it would probably be a lot better.
I know, it is weird having another person here who, basically me and him were like the same drinker. We mix our shit with pretty much the same shit most of the time.
I don't mix mine with shit.
We pretty much agree on the same type of liquor. We both love Jameson. He's the one who turned me on to the Jameson and Red Bull, and we both have always agreed on the same taste of whiskeys, because we don't really venture out from that. Other than that, he used to love margaritas. Probably still does. I don't.
Well, to rephrase that, I love black grape margaritas. I don't like traditional.
He likes frou-frou drinks.
I do like frou-frou. I don't drink beer though, so that's why.
He can't stand the taste, but...
No, I throw up if I drink a quarter of a beer.
To be fair though, you have drank a Guinness Extra Stout. You didn't gag.
It's called Motor.
And you drank a Yingling and didn't gag.
I was also completely hammered.
It's pretty much like the classified as beer, but light beers that he can't taste.
It's anything super hoppy. Beer that I don't like a lot of craft beers I can't have, or IPAs I'm not a big fan of, but stouts, extra stouts, and there was one more I liked. Anything in a green bottle is a no.
I mean, pretty much lagers are good for you.
Yeah.
Because that's what Yingling is, the lager.
But
if you ever watched Friends, they talk about the difference between a lager and a ale, if there is one. I don't know, it's all beer to me.
There is a huge difference, but beside the point, and that's a conversation for another day. It's like the difference between a rye whiskey and corn whiskey.
I still would like to know the process in which those two are different.
If you would watch the videos that I send you and tell you to watch from that one channel, you would know.
Listen.
I'm not going to say it on here though, unless you want me to, then I will.
Yeah, you might want to. If it's alcoholic,
it's...
Oh, you're talking about...
the Modern Rogue.
Modern
Rogue has like 4 or 5 episodes dedicated to just whiskeys.
If we get popular enough and those motherfuckers come on the show for something,
there's no way Brian Brushwood or, oh god, blanking on his name, Murphy will come on here. No way. They're more magicians. But I do really enjoy the Modern Rogue.
There's a lot of stuff they could do for the show.
There's nothing we could do for their show.
There's nothing we could do, no. Except for add a little bit, like a little hillbilly to their show. But other than that, there's nothing we can do.
But watching their series over whiskeys and bourbons and ryes, how to order whiskey, how to make certain whiskey drinks, taught me a lot about what to look for in a whiskey.
I feel like, far as I know, on
same thing with their steak episode. That's how I learned to cook steaks halfway decent.
This pretty much hits a lot of those. I feel like it's definitely in my top 10 on whiskey.
It's top 5 for me.
See, I was gonna say that, but I was trying to think of like 5 whiskeys that I love, and pretty much like 3 of those are Jameson.
I'm going by brand.
Like Jameson, Casket Mates, and what was Black Barrel?
Yeah, Black Barrel. Black Barrel.
Like those are definitely my top 3. So this might be number 4, but it's hard, really hard to beat Jameson in any of their Jamesons. To me at least.
I mean, I agree with that, but this is becoming a Jameson episode somehow. But
I mean, to be fair, I'm trying to talk John into doing another episode. I want to do a full Jameson episode, but in order to do that, we have to do a full Jack episode. And to be fair, because Jack is his favorite, Jameson's mine. So to be fair, we both have to do our own episodes. And Jameson has way less variety than Jack Daniels does.
I think they have 4 bottles.
Jack Daniels has just normal Jack. They have Gentleman Jack. They have their rye. They have their honey. They have their fire. There's a step above Gentleman Jack, and I saw it when I went out. And I was going to get it because it was actually pretty cheap, because Jack Daniels sometimes is pretty cheap in Tennessee. And the step above the Gentleman Jack looked great. But because it was like $30-something, I wanted to be able to get a couple different bottles, or to be able to do a few shows at once. Because, in case you guys didn't know, episode 1, or this episode, is the first. And by the time we finish this one, we'll decide whether or not we're about to do another one. Because I do have one more bottle, which would help if we did 2 episodes today.
I just really love their bottle. Like
I am very fascinated.
I'm a big fan of unique shaped bottles.
It's actually a twist. It actually tightens on.
Whoa.
That's
neat.
By far my favorite bottle 100%. Because one, I love the cork.
Hey.
See, you gotta love corks. You gotta love cork tops, especially on whiskey. I don't know why, but it just, if you drinking a cork top whiskey, it's gonna be good. I've not had, like, personally had a cork top whiskey that wasn't good.
That is definitely unique. That actually tightens up on there. I really like that.
Like I said, like, I understand that this is supposed to be a whiskey review, but most of the time, especially with me and John, we talk about the bottles. And John is probably going to be upset that we had such a fascinating bottle on the episode and he wasn't here for it.
Well, it reminds me of an old kind of bottle I found one time. Once again, grew up poor, played in the woods a lot. So, like,
That's fair.
some fun things we would do is go look in the woods for junk and garbage and find old bottles. And I found some really cool looking old bottles, but I've never seen one with 6 sides. I think it has 6 sides.
Believe it or not, growing up up north in like Michigan and Illinois, we used to do the same thing, except our woods are like, you know, less than the size of an acre. And down here, woods pretty much never end. And I've found a lot of really cool bottles. And even in my time on this show, I'm trying to find like cool, unique bottles and whiskeys and stuff to review. This is by far the coolest bottle that I've seen. Because when I first picked this up, I thought this just pulled off. That's why I never carried it by that. But it actually twists on and off. Like it is not just gonna pop off of there. Because there was it's not there anymore, but there used to be a sticker right here that held the top onto the
I'll
bottom.
put the sticker on the front of the box.
Is it? Yeah, so it's up here. Yeah, it's up here somewhere. And that used to hold this, so I thought that was holding it so people couldn't just pull it off. But this actually twists on and off. This is by far the coolest bottle that I've seen for whiskeys. So other whiskey companies, take note. This is awesome. To buy your whiskey,
Now,
and not only do I not have to go out and get me a shot glass, or a, what is it called? Jigger, yeah. Or a jigger. You sell your whiskey with it. That is awesome. And it adds to the top. Like this twist on and off.
it also adds to the lore of the whiskey itself. That's another thing I really like is when whiskey companies go into their background a lot and really play off how they were made. Like, you know, made in Colorado. Okay, Colorado's a big mining place, so we're going to do a tin cup because a lot of miners use tin cups. But I still can't tell if it changes the taste.
I can't either. But
I feel like it does. I definitely feel like it changes.
I feel like
it has to a little bit.
As a bartender, I know copper cups change the flavor. That's why when you go and order a Moscow Mule, it comes in that copper cup.
I hate cleaning those.
They're not fun. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that the tin cups definitely change it because it does the same thing for a copper cup. And metals are always known to change the flavor of what you're drinking. Because there's like plastic cups, glass cups, all sorts of different cups that you can get for whiskeys and for different drinks. And I know predominantly whiskeys drink out of a rocks glass, but I'm gonna try to find some tin cups. I'm gonna try to find some tin cups for the show, and maybe we can do an actual taste test between the two. We do one out of a normal glass and do one out of a tin cup. See if the flavor actually changes. See if it actually helps. I would say we could do a Moscow Mule, but I absolutely hate Moscow Mules. I hate the taste. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like mint, and I don't like vodka.
I'm a big mint fan, but I never have gotten into Moscow Mules. It's the ginger beer part of them.
It's fair. Yeah, ginger beers are. There's a, I think it's called an Irish Mule, which is Jameson and ginger beer, and of course mint.
It just sounds bad. Like mojitos, I really like mojitos because of the mint in them.
Well, when I had a birthday back when I was bartending.
Whoa, you had a birthday?
Yeah, I've had a few.
That's crazy.
You were there for this
one.
one.
You had 21 yet?
You've actually had the Irish. You've
had
it.
Tried it.
We were very drunk, but it was for one of my birthdays, and the owners of the bar were there, and I asked them if they were going to buy me a drink, and each one of them, of course, bought me a drink. But the one
where it's a little bit warm now.
Oh, fuck.
It's got a different bite to it.
Yeah, it does.
But the caramel is coming out a lot more, as well as the smokiness in it is coming out more when it's
That whiskey bite's a lot more there when it's warm.
But
I'll give
that's
it that.
part of being cold. Cold dampens your taste buds, so to speak. But that's why cold drinks taste better than warm drinks.
Maybe that's why everybody orders a whiskey cold.
I don't.
Alright, sorry about that. I guess the camera just randomly turned itself off, so if this looks a little different than it was before this one, is because we were trying to figure out where
Fucking
it ended.
interns.
Yeah. If only we had an intern. So, remember, in the comments, yell at John and Speedo for not being here. We yelled at them because of them, we fucked up. But, while we were doing all that, Lincoln over here found some interesting stuff about the company that produces, distributes Tincup. So,
Which is Proximo. They were founded in 2007 by the Beckham family. Their headquarters in New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey, in the United States. They have a pretty nice history. They were founded in 2007 by the Beckham family in Mexico, who also owns and operates Jose Cuervo. They own over a dozen spirits and brands. And right here they are. They have, in tequila, they have Jose Cuervo, 1800 tequila, Gran Centenario, Mastro Dabel tequila. If I fucked that up, I'm sorry. And Zarco tequila. Vodka, they own 3 Olive vodka and Hangar 1 vodka. And rum, they own Kraken Black Spice rum, which he's a huge fan of.
I love Kraken.
Lola Bell cherry rum and Ron Matt Salem rum. In whiskeys, they own Bushmills, which is pretty unique. And Straw Hands Colorado whiskey, which turns out is actually the Colorado single malt they mix with Tincup.
Isn't Bushmills a Irish whiskey?
It is. They also own Tincup American whiskey and Proper Number 12, which is an Irish whiskey, which a lot of you may know is owned by Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter. Which we need to try, by the way. I've really been wanting to try it.
I haven't tried it. Be a good episode.
And whereas liqueur, they own Agavero. Yeah, it's Agavero.
Yeah, agave.
It's tequila made liqueur with 100% blue agave blended with various flavors. And margarita mixes, they own Jose Cuervo. But the reason that Tincup 10 year has just come out is because in 2014 is when they announced the release of Tincup, so they just started aging all that. Which is why Tincup is a relatively new brand, because they're 4-year-old. I don't know if they'd already started that or not, but the partnership with Straw Hands founder Jess Garver started in 2014, which is why in 2019 the 10-year has just started coming out.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's just been about a year since I've seen the Tincup coming on in commercials and stuff like that, which, yeah, would make sense.
If they partnered in 2014, that would be 4 years, about a year ago, which is how long this aged. So it's really nice to have a new brand of whiskey, like a newer brand. It doesn't have a huge back history. That's not terrible.
I mean, I'm very happy because, like, as we've talked about before, some of the, like, between Jameson and Old Crow is an older one, but Jameson is even older. And Jameson being so much better than Old Crow was, you know, strange in its entirety, because Old Crow was one of the first whiskeys around in the colonies back then, like a long time ago. I mean, it was like 1800s that Old Crow came out.
Yeah, it was 18.
So between that and then like Tincup just coming out in 2014 or 15.
They announced their partnership.
No, so they announced it. They announced the liquor back then. Whenever it came out is whenever it came out. But this is really new. Like, Tincup is really new. Like 2000s new. So it being as good as it is, and them not having as much time to perfect their craft, really shows a lot. Because 1, their bottle is fantastic. 2, their whiskey is really good. Like, I have almost no complaints on it.
It's a little smoky for my taste, a little bit harsh when it's warm, but that's also me liking lighter, not quite charred whiskeys.
As far as I'm concerned, I think they hit the nail on the head with Tincup. I really want to get Lincoln back here for another episode of Tincup. I want to go out and buy the 10-year, and I want us to try the 10-year because as long as we have this one, some of this one left, we can actually compare the two and see how big of a difference you get between a minimum 4-year to a minimum 10-year on whiskey, especially because they're exactly the same brand. And I absolutely love this one, and I want to get the 10-year.
Mind you, this is all subjective. Your taste may vary, but I'm not a huge fan of the smoky taste. That's just me. I like lighter, more nutty, sweet whiskeys.
I mean, I'll agree with that. But far as the whiskeys me and John have reviewed, and our friends have come on and reviewed with us, Tincup is definitely top 2 to me, because Jameson we did, and now Tincup, and Tincup is definitely number 2 because you can't beat Jameson to me.
Where's Old Crow rate?
Old Crow is as bottom as you can fucking go. This is the last on the list. So far, nothing has been worse than Old Crow. So far, we have not had to break another bottle.
I don't really want to break this bottle.
I really don't either. I absolutely, even if this was like horribly shit whiskey, I wouldn't break the bottle.
If John doesn't like this whiskey, I will fight him. If he tries to break this bottle, we will videotape me and him fighting. I will stab him.
100%. I completely agree that anybody who doesn't like it and tries to break the bottle should be fought.
Because knowing John as well as I do, which isn't super well, like I don't know all of his ins and outs, I've known him for 5 or 6 years maybe, this is more up his alley than Jameson will be.
Yeah, no, 100%. I completely agree because he's a lot more of a Jack.
He's a darker charred.
This is definitely a lot more of that Jack, because Jack Daniels it gets all of that from the barrel. It's like that's its signature thing is a barrel.
I disagree with that. A lot of Jack Daniels is the water source they use. Like this said, a lot of it has to do with the cut water, and they use the same spring they've been using for the past however long they've been around.
Well, see, the big difference is this one uses the West Coast water, spring water, and Jack Daniels uses East Coast water.
With that being said,
not ocean.
Moonshine, the best moonshine around our parts, comes off of a bluff road that has a natural spring running out of it, and it is delicious water, and it makes the best moonshine. But it's irrelevant. So it really does have to do with water. If you use shitty city water, a bunch of fluoride, it tastes bad.
To me, in comparison to Jameson, it's Jack Daniels barrels versus Jameson using those hints of the like vanilla and stuff.
The nutty vanilla,
yeah,
a little more sweet, and a lot more
that's
light.
the big difference. And with us, it's those flavors that we enjoy. Whereas John, because of his Jack Daniels heritage and loving all of that, he's going to absolutely love the Tin Cup. Which we will, in the next episode that I do with John, he's going to try the Tin Cup.
On camera, for you guys.
Yeah, so you guys will know that I'm not wrong. He's going to love this. And it also helps that it's an American whiskey.
It's American whiskey with a tin cup, because I know where he grew up. He's probably drank out of a tin cup before. He understands how it does change the taste.
And here on Whiskey Helps, American is always the way to go.
Unless you're Jameson, then you're...
Awesome. Irish whiskey is always the way to go, unless it's American. American with Irish whiskey is always the best.
Irish is way better. Agree to disagree?
Yeah, fuck it. Anyway, this has been Whiskey Helps. I'm drunk.
I'm not John.
Used to be John. We'll see you on the next episode. Ah, fuck.
If I had seen the American hat sitting there, I would have wore it.